Hi, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel on systematic manifesting. And today I want to give hope to those who are waiting for their manifestations. If you are, like myself many times, wondering when a manifestation is going to come, you have performed some imaginal activities, you have visualized your end, you have scripted something, you've affirmed something, you are imagining before you go to sleep. You have a big desire. You want to manifest money. You want to manifest marriage with a person. Whatever it is that you want, you are waiting for that thing. And perhaps you're new to this. Perhaps you've never attempted to manifest something of this magnitude. Perhaps you've never manifested at all. Or perhaps you're like myself and have manifested tens of thousands of different things, but have yet to see what you are looking to manifest in this case. All of us have been there. I myself included. I'm not immune from such a thing, but there is a system you can use to prove you can do it. And that is what I want to show you. What I'm going to show you today is something I've developed throughout the last 12 years to help convince myself through actual systematic practices that you are on the right track, that you can do this, that you have the power within. And by following these simple steps and breaking down the desire type of what you wish to manifest into the sum of its parts and take analogous manifestations, meaning similar style manifestations, you can prove that you've done the right thing, that you have the power to do this. In other words, this is something you will not learn anywhere else. This is all through experience. Throughout my life, I've manifested many things: successful businesses, specific people, health manifestations, romance, mental health manifestations, changes in other people. All of those are possible. That's what I specialize in, the impossible. Through those years, I have read hundreds of books on manifesting. I have performed tens of thousands of experiments. This is something that I have derived through my own personal experience that has helped many people have that confidence, build that trust in themselves, and ultimately manifest the exact thing that they want. The idea of this is to break down your desire. In other words, by the end of this video, you will know the system that I myself use regularly to build the trust to know that I've done it right. And then I can rest assured, then I stop worrying, then I stop obsessing, then I stop stressing, then I stop doubting. And by the end, ultimately a manifestation comes to pass, whether it's today, tomorrow, or down the road. So with that, if you're interested, check this out. I am offering free, yes, free email coaching. If you want email coaching for free, I am giving anyone and everyone affirmations of their choice. Now, they're going to be power affirmations, meaning you're only going to have to do them once to manifest your desire. If you're interested in that, fill out the form, which is a link in the description and in the comments, and then you can get that today. Pass this around, share this with everyone. This is for everyone for a limited time. So do that now. So anyway, jumping into this thing, we're talking about knowing for a fact that you are doing the right thing. So what is manifesting, right? Manifesting the impossible is devising some sort of scene that implies you have what you want. Now, some cases, things take a day, a week, a month, a year. There's no way to speed something up. There's no way to judge when a manifestation is coming. But in most cases, just knowing that the manifestation is coming is sufficient for having that confidence. Now, most of the time that can happen through a sign. What is a sign? A sign is something that is presented to you, an echo of sorts, related to the manifestation, out of the ordinary, but not the manifestation itself. Again, I'll repeat that. The first criteria to a sign that is showing you your manifestation is coming is actually that we have imagined something. We have imagined a thing. After that, there are three components. The first one is that what we are witnessing is similar to the thing that we have imagined. It's similar to the desire and similar to the thing that we have imagined, as long as you've imagined the desire. The second component is that it is not the manifestation itself. Obviously, a sign is not you having the fulfilled manifestation. The third criteria is that whatever you are witnessing, right, similar to what you want, not it, and also out of the ordinary. You have to be able to see a difference between your daily experiences and what you're witnessing right now. If those components exist in something that you're witnessing before your very eyes, after you've imagined and after you know for a fact what you've imagined, then that is a sign. And if you've seen a sign, then it is guaranteed that the manifestation will come. But what if you don't see a sign? Is it guaranteed to witness a sign? No. Now, just before we enter into the components of how to prove that you're doing this right and that you know that you're manifesting properly, I'll start by saying this. To manifest your desire, you have to imagine the desire. And you have to do it in a way that is after it has already happened, after it's already manifested. In other words, take the thing that you want, the successful business, construct a scene that implies you already have it. Maybe you are in an office building and it says CEO on the plaque, or maybe you have a large sum of money in your bank and you are talking about to your best friend or whatever that you have made this amount of money in your business this week or something. Or perhaps it's manifesting marriage and you're imagining you are already married to that person. That's what you want, then that's what you imagine. It has to be in first person perspective. It has to be clear and concise after the end. If you do that, and if you imagine that, then what would follow would be a sign. But if there is no sign, that does not mean that you haven't done it right. So this is how you prove that you're doing it right, to have the confidence to know you can manifest anything. So take the desire of a specific person. Take the example that you want to manifest a specific person. Now, this is applicable for any type of desire. The point is, you take the thing that you want, the thing that you've imagined, the thing that you haven't had any evidence to suggest that you're doing it right. Take that and now break it down into what it is. You are attempting to cause an individual to, in whatever case or situation, have their heart set on marrying you. Now, depending upon the situation, this could be considered a big leap from where you are to where you have to be, or it could be something subtle. I have people who have manifested marriage based upon the things that I've taught within 14 days. Marriage, from just being boyfriend and girlfriend to marriage, meaning they just met, became boyfriend and girlfriend, and then 14 days later got married. That is a true story in which I will share soon on a video upcoming. Now, others, maybe you were in a big argument, maybe you've been broken up, maybe you never met. The point is, there is a criteria, a set difference between now and then. What you have to do is break that down into the sum of its parts. So, a more clear example. Take you right now. Say you never met this person. Then what you are attempting to do is have a stranger approach you. Not only that, you have to have this stranger be attracted to you. You have to have them have a change of thought in their mind so deep that they want to marry you. So that is how manifestation works. It always happens in a natural way. I used to think that it would be a miraculous switch of experiences, but quantum physics and personal experience shows that you don't just swap into a new dimension where this thing exists. There's always a bridge of incidents that gets you there, right? And in the comments below, for those who have not had that experience yet, please, those who have, comment below to share to those who haven't that this is how manifesting works. Now, aside from this, you need them to have, so what do we have now? You have to have a stranger approach you, you have to have them have some sort of change of heart, you have to have them communicate with you in a meaningful way. You have to have them ask you on a date. So you break down the desire into these components that would consist of them marrying you. For an example, say you did used to date them. So, and then there was a big argument and you guys are broken up. So you add a few other components. You have to have someone having a big change of heart, someone forgiving someone, and then whatever else is involved. So again, simply put, take your desire and break it down into the sum of different desires that it consists of. And you have to write that down. That's the first step to doing this. Cite the desire and break it down into the sum of its parts. The second aspect is to take it and imagine each and every one of those things, but not for your specific person. Don't do this for the target of your desire. Do this for different people. So in other words, you would write down, for an example, right? If you've watched my video on the list method, which if you haven't, I highly recommend you do that. But what you do is you take a piece of paper and you write down a desire as if it's already completed. So in other words, you would write down, a complete stranger approaches me. A complete stranger tells me that I'm attractive. Or you could go and write down, someone who doesn't know me, who I know, messages me and tells me I'm attractive. Then you could say, someone that I find attractive asks me out on a date. Then you can go ahead and say, someone who's very angry at me apologizes to me. So essentially what you do is you create and construct these desires of the components of your fulfilled desire. You could also take a specific person, not the one, again, not the target. You don't want to mess with your target manifestation. You don't want to mess with the middle. So what you do is you find an analog. You find something similar, but not the manifestation itself, not the desired manifestation itself, and you break it down, and then you manifest that thing. Take a person. So for example, if this is a specific person and you want to prove that you can cause a specific person to do a specific thing, well, then create a series of manifestations related to that. So add down to this list. Remember, you're creating a list to manifest a bunch of different things similar to what you want, but the different components thereof. And then that way, by the end of this, you will have absolute proof that you are capable of doing this, but you're likely simply waiting for the manifestation to unfold, right? As Neville Goddard says, and as it says in scripture, that every manifestation has its own appointed hour, not your hour that you appoint to it, but it must come. God's word must fulfill the purpose that it was intended to complete. It must not come back void, as it says in scripture. So you are just waiting for it. So take this list of different things that you wish to happen, right? In and of itself, if you wrote those things down from the perspective of them already having happened, they in and of themselves, like I said, if you've done the list method, that will manifest. You will prove it. Now, if you want to go a step further and imagine each and every one of those things, how do you imagine something that you have just written down? How do you imagine something without a face? Like a stranger approaches me and compliments me. Someone asks me out on a date. Pick a random person and say, they say this specific thing to me. Well, writing it down works, but you could also imagine a conversation where you're telling a friend, a trusted friend, that event happened. And you imagine that over and over in your mind. Remember, you're taking the end and you're imagining it. You imagine it until you feel you've done it in a proper way. You loop it over and over, a short and concise scene, and watch and wait, it will manifest. Iteratively, sequentially, one after another, each of those manifestations will unfold. I have performed this time and time again to prove that I am capable of doing things that I perhaps might have doubt over. Generally, I use this when it's a manifestation that I've never attempted before, some facet or angle of life that I have never approached to have done before. And in doing this, you will witness and watch and build your confidence to trust that it will manifest. Every single time I do this, I can then witness and say, well, this happened, this happened, this happened. I can make someone say something. I can make someone ask me on a date. I can make someone have a change of heart. I can make someone change their mind radically, or say it's money driven, right? Money comes to me randomly. Say it's that. Someone sends me a check for $20 in the mail. I buy a winning lottery ticket. Whatever it is, you break it down into the components, the sum of its parts, right? I had something happen that proved I'm really lucky. Whatever the case is, whatever you want to manifest, you break that down. You write those down, and then you convert those into imaginal scenes, or you just write them down from the tense in first-person perspective as if it's already happened, and then you will witness and watch each of those manifest. If it doesn't happen, you look at it and wonder, what has gone wrong here? Do I have a belief in the way? But maybe try a different angle. Maybe you're imagining too complex. You take this, break it down, and analyze the results. And you will find 99% of the time, they are all just waiting to happen. Maybe you haven't sharpened your skills. Maybe you've been imagining the wrong thing. Maybe you haven't been imagining the end. Maybe you have to watch what you're reading and learning from. Maybe you have to perform more experiments. this is all in what I teach is the testing. Testing is the key to everything. It builds confidence to everything. It will prove that you can do anything. You can do the impossible. So absolutely ensure that you perform this if you want to build that trust, build that confidence, build that faith. You will never be let down. You will never prove your manifestation wrong. You always have this power. So like I said, I'm offering free email coaching if you want affirmations. So you get free email coaching. Click the link in the description below or in the comments, fill out the form and watch and get that free email coaching. Do you want a set of affirmations? There's a little survey or link that you'll have to fill out, and then I will give you your free email coaching. So thank you so much for watching. If you want your manifestations, hit the subscribe button. I break it down into an applicable systematic methodology only through experience, not through the hundreds of books I've read, not through what I've heard somewhere, what I've read somewhere, all through experience, data-driven experience. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much.